Hey everybody, Matthew Solomon here, coach with MatthewSolomon.com. Today's video topic: if your relationship is not working, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling frustrated, if there's that feeling of despair, consider it's because you're focusing on you wish it was easy, or you wish your relationship was easier, or it should be easier, or they should just understand what you want and need, or they should just be able to read your mind, or you shouldn't have to learn techniques to communicate, or you shouldn't have to censor what you say or how you say it, and they should just understand what you mean and what your intention is. They should have thicker skin. They should not take things so personally. They should be more sensitive. They should. If you're focusing on that stuff, yeah, there's going to be some bumps in the road. Now, in defining relationships, in defining anything, like I've said before, I prefer not to use labels because it puts us in a box. And so, I've heard people say relationships are supposed to be easy. I've heard people say healthy relationships are easy. I've heard people say relationships are supposed to be hard. Relationships are for growth. Relationships are where you fully realize yourself. Relationships are there to have you face the pain and stuff from your childhood. All of that's true. I was going to say none of that's true, but no, all of that's true. At least in the context of us being human. Now, if your thoughts are, I wish this was easier, I wish this was different, I wish they were more attentive or more something or less something, you're not accepting where you are right now. And if you're not accepting it, you're resisting it. And if you're resisting it, you're going to cause more upset, because then you just get more frustrated. And they just get more frustrated. And then it just keeps going back and forth and becomes a pissing contest. But when you can get to the point where you say, okay, this is how it's going right now. This is our level of understanding each other. She needs to, for this to work, she needs to think about what she's going to say before she says it. He needs to follow this structure of communication so that she feels heard. If he has to leave because he's frustrated, and we get men, we get frustrated, and it's, our conditioning, our wiring can be to just fucking say fuck it and leave. I used to do that. So for things to work, for him to catch himself and say, you know what, either I want to leave and I'm not leaving, or I need to step outside for 20 minutes and I will be back. And when he does that, for her to accept and acknowledge the fact that he's showing up and trying. And when she's thinking about what she's saying before she speaks, for him to get that and acknowledge that this is her showing up and trying. When you can accept that and acknowledge where you're at, then you can actually do something about it. A lot of times, the first step in communicating effectively is to acknowledge where the other person is at. When I coach people, if they're having a meltdown because, let's say they just lost their job, I'm not going to jump to, well, you can create anything you want. I have to start at, that sucks. I get it. What, how are you? What are you going to do? Do you have a plan? So that we can start from where we're at. If you don't start from where you're at, you're just piling shit on top of shit. So the first thing to do is to acknowledge where you're at. And, when I was talking about the steps of listening, everything we have learned is rudimentary. We learn math. We learn 1 + 1 and 1 + 2. Then we get into double digits, triple digits, multiplication and division. And, if we get into geometry and algebra and all of that, like, it all builds off of the 1 + 1. and the sticks with the 10 beans on it so we can count by 10. To learn to write, we first have to learn the alphabet, and then put letters together, and then vowels and all of that, and sentence structure and punctuation, so that people can understand what we're writing. So if we haven't been taught how to listen, and I'm saying the steps are to get where the other person is at, to acknowledge what they're saying, to be able to like repeat what they're saying, but then also get their experience that they're sharing, that they're frustrated, that they're upset, or that they're excited, and why. And then what was it that they wanted to happen that did happen or didn't happen? Really get inside of their world. You can't really get frustrated with those steps because we haven't been taught this. You know, we've been taught to defend ourselves and hope for the best. So start with where you're at. You got to give up the conversation of, I wish it was easier. You know, frankly, there's a relationship I'm in right now where, you know, it's one of the most freeing things ever because we both acknowledge that, you know, she's been through shit, I've been through shit. We both have automatic reactions to stuff, and we make it a game instead of making each other wrong. We catch ourselves. Because I know if she says a certain thing, I'm going to think she's, you know, accusing me of something or, you know, misunderstanding something. Because one of my things is feeling misunderstood. So start where you're at. Accept where you're at. Choose. Say, I choose this. I shared in a post yesterday, and I'm going to wrap this up in a minute. My parents just celebrated their 49th wedding anniversary. I asked them, what's the secret? And they both said, you have to want to stay together. And you got to let stuff go. You have to want to stay together. And if you're committed to that, and if you have an idea of what staying together can look like, partnership, the two of you together facing the world. You know, there's an analogy, being in the foxhole together. You know, I know as a man, and from talking to other men, one of the big things we want is to feel that our partner has our back, to know that our partner has our back. And I know from women who I work with and I've talked to and listened to, women want to feel safe, to express themselves, to be themselves. And everything in between. Let your partner know what it is that you want. Ask your partner what he or she or they want. What do you need? What is your deepest desire? How do you want to feel? How do you want to experience a relationship with me? And then start from where you're at and build the bridge to get there. And if you would like support with that, who's got 2 thumbs and coaches couples? I do, this guy. I have a 6-week relationship reboot. I have 1 more spot left. They're going fast. I got 1 more spot. We get to work together 2-on-1. 6 weekly calls. You have access to me in between, and we'll tear this shit apart, turn it inside out, and get you guys, boom, slamming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. And buy Man School, Relating with Women in the Me Too Era, my book. It's on Amazon. It's all about relationships. Have a great day.